What's up, guys? Princess basically here. The behind-the-scenes documentaries of Behind the Clouds. Vaping has saved many lives, changed many lives that not even smokers have known. So what we're here to do is just impart some knowledge, visiting local vape shop owners, vapors, and getting their side of the story on how vaping saved their lives, how it changed their lives and could change the entirety of the industry. So I'm here today with Darin Tripoli and Tony Bellisperito of Sunshine Vape.
Basically, the three of us, me, Darin, and our other partner Keith, we're all former smokers ourselves. We've all smoked for over 20 years. All kind of came from the same general area. Came up here just to kind of better ourselves, start a business together. And it's actually funny, Darin and Keith actually were trying to quit. Started, using, V2s and things of that nature. And I kind of laughed at them. I said, get out of here. What are you guys doing? You're not going to quit. You're not going to quit. So, luckily for them, I actually quit as well. They were the ones who turned me on to it as well. And then we just, we started making juice in our own home for ourselves because everything we got on the internet was either sporadic, it wasn't what it said it was, and stuff like that. So we started messing around with it in our own home for ourselves. We started giving out to our friends, and they turned around and were like, "Oh, this stuff is awesome. You guys gotta come out with your own stuff." So we started in a flea market for a while, and then we opened up the store. Probably about 7 months later, I'd say. And the rest is history. Now we have 2 stores, and we are fighting the fight. We definitely don't want this to go away. We've all lost many people to cigarettes, and getting up every day and coming to Sunshine Vape or any vape shop for that instance, it's kind of rewarding because we're actually saving people's lives. And that's what keeps us going. To fight the fight because we were all there with everybody else at one time, and we don't want to see the end result like everybody else. Coming down with cancer or all the other things that come along with it. So that's why we do what we do.
My name is Darin. I'm going to be 35 this year. I got into vaping about 5 years ago with my health being the major concern, my future. I found myself being winded, and I just didn't like it. I do want to be here for many more years to come. So we got into vaping, and we started just making products for ourselves, and it kind of snowballed into a website, flea market, shows, and we were fortunate enough to be an early entrepreneur in the industry and open a shop, which has catapulted us into many shops. What these regulations mean to us are death regulations. They are designed to make it harder for individuals to find what they're looking for. It halts innovation, and it puts small businesses out. Employment opportunities will no longer exist. And we're one outfit. We employ almost 25 people. And with the regulations, that would not be the case.
Welcome them into the business. We say welcome to Sunshine Vape. We ask how can we help them. And we basically, especially being that they're just trying to come off cigarettes, we try to guide them in whatever they're comfortable with. Being that there are so many different starter kits, we do ask them how many cigarettes they smoke a day because that's how we gauge as far as the nicotine goes. We have devices that are sub-ohming devices which put out a lot more vapor. And then we have your standard beginning style stuff that don't produce as much vapor, but they still give you that punch because you still have a lot more nicotine in those devices. Whereas sub-ohming devices, you don't need as much nicotine, which is a good thing because that's always the ultimate goal is to keep more nicotine. So it really just depends on them, budget-wise too. That's always a factor as well. Not everyone has a lot of money to spend right off the bat. We guide them to a small starter kit. Once they start saving a little bit of money and they have a little extra cash in their pocket after maybe a couple months or so, then if they want to upgrade to something a little more satisfying or something that produces more vapor, they're able to do that at that time.
So. We also like to make sure that all the Sunshine Vape patrons are of age. They all get carded well before there was any legislation or laws regarding underage purchase of electronic cigarettes. So that's something we take very seriously, and we fought for that law to be enacted, and we're happy that we won that battle. Vaping is different for everybody. The one thing that I could say that Tony did not touch on is trials and error, the flavor tasting, holding the product in your hand, seeing how it's going to perform for you before you purchase it. And we can't emphasize enough that that is probably one of the more important things when it comes to getting off of cigarettes and trying vape for the first time. Not every product is made for everybody. There's stuff that's not powerful and stuff that's very powerful. There's a lot of different factors that go into everybody's vape, and it's very personal too, between colors and flavors. Everybody's different, so having a wide variety is extremely important.
Take something like this, which is called Cool Fire 4 Plus Edition. This is basically your middle of the road device, probably closer to the high-end stuff right here. You have all your functions right here, which will tell you your battery life, your power level. It also tells you what resistance coil you have, because that's a big factor as well. These devices, you unscrew them from the tank itself. Pop one of these off. And then this is your coil system. Every device is a little bit different. Some of them actually screw onto the base. This one is nice because it actually interlocks in to the bottom there, which is a nice feature because a lot of people will get leaking and stuff like that, and that's due to the coil itself getting loosening inside. Something like this, that will not happen because it interlocks in. Another great feature is that they fill from the top, which is also a nice feature, which is just convenient for the user itself. This way they're not having to disconnect the whole device itself. These are not external batteries, which is another nice feature. They're actually able to plug it right through the unit and charge it that way. Basically a little less for them to have to worry about rather than getting multiple batteries and chargers and stuff like that. It's an all-in-one unit. Everything you need is right in here. The only thing you need extra is just the liquid to put inside.
Most e-juices today are made in the United States. That's number one. And Sunshine Vape and many other vape shops only sell products that carry manufacturer's insurance and that are professionally manufactured in clean rooms and labs. The ingredients that come in an electronic cigarette vary slightly, but the two main components are propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. Propylene glycol is found in almost everything. It's in our toothpaste, our makeup, it's in hard candies. Vegetable glycerin is also a natural plant oil that has been around forever. Both of those components have been approved by FDA for other uses as early as in the 1960s. A couple other ingredients found would be food flavoring and nicotine. The food flavoring, again, it varies. It's very small percentages, and the nicotine, some of the e-juices don't even contain nicotine. Again, these are very, very small amounts, and you're going to have about 4 to 5 different ingredients per bottle of nicotine, per bottle of e-juice, whereas opposed to a cigarette has over 4,000 chemicals before it combusts and about 7,000 after combustion. So it's really a no-brainer to why a bottle of e-juice is preferred over a pack of cigarettes. I think it's all education, and the vape shop's primary job is enforcing that education, not just making a sale. We spend a majority of each sale educating the consumer on the proper use and techniques of each and every device that we sell. A lot of the news and the negative articles that we see, I hate to say it, but a lot of it's user error. They're either getting it from a friend, secondhand, or they're buying it at a shop that doesn't specialize in vapor products, so they're not being taught the ins and the outs of the devices. 99% of the things that we see on the news can be avoided if the consumer had a little bit more education on the products that he's using.
Just the other thing is, it's when you see the batteries exploding in people's pockets and stuff like that, it's the same thing with Energizer batteries that you have in your remote controls and stuff like that. When you have them in your pocket with loose change and keys, once metal makes contact with the two ends, it's going to cause a problem.
So
it's going to short circuit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could actually start a fire in the woods with a Duracell battery and a piece of tin foil.
Yep.
Gum wrapper.
The battery is doing its job. Two circuits are connected. A lot of the batteries that we see exploding in pockets are outside of the devices, where they're not being stored properly for travel, and that's one of the main things that a lot of vapors take for granted is battery safety. Suffering, death, and the blood is on the hand of the legislators. This is a pretty serious matter, and when you wipe out 99% of products, 99% of people are going to go back to smoking. The regulations were designed for big corporate business only. The time frames that they have given are unrealistic, and everybody is starting to notice that, and lawsuits are already pending. I do know of 2 already, but the main thing is the economy, the postal service. There's a lot of vape mail out there. Local economies are going to suffer, jobs are going to suffer, and our health is going to suffer. So I like to coin the term death regulations when we start speaking about this.
You're also putting families at risk. When somebody has to pick cigarettes back up again, that secondhand smoke is now getting into their kids, their grandparents, their dads, aunts, uncles, and it's right back to where they were, as if this was never even around before. It's just not good. I mean, for instance, my own personal sister, we smoked in a house up until she was 5 years old, needed an asthma inhaler, 3 of them, every single day. The day we stopped smoking in the home was the day she no longer needed that. That itself tells me right there as far as what secondhand smoke does to people. Whereas vaping, it doesn't bother anybody. I mean, most secondhand vapor, it's no worse than the air we breathe in every day. It's just an overall, like Darin was saying, you're basically, it's the death, you're going to start killing everybody again.
Unless you find bananas and strawberries offensive, there pretty much is no such thing as secondhand vapor. Whole bill, or HR 2058, is extremely important. Now, it's only a small factor in this fight against vaping. We have to fight legally, we have to fight legislatively, and when it comes to legislatively, this is it, 2058. Basically, that's the grandfather date. They want to push all the products back to 2007. There is only like one product, and it would not work for the modern day vapor. So if we do get the date extended closer to the publication date of the federal regs, it allows vape shops to continue doing business. But again, it's only a very small battle in the war on vaping, because all the manufacturers and of e-juice and other products are still going to have a hard time innovating and putting out better products and things like that. The innovation to us is extremely big. We've watched the industry grow from very small vapor products that barely worked to these amazing products that get even the hardest cigarette smokers off of their habit and onto a cleaner alternative. So the cold bill is very important, but again, it's only one battle in the war. CASAA is the Consumer Advocacy Association, and they have recently banned with 3 or 4 other advocacy groups, FADA being one of them, American E-Liquid Manufacturers Association. They're banding together to fight mainly the coal bill, 2058, and without them, we would be getting bad information. Everything would be mixed and jumbled. They do all the calls to action. So when there's a bill in a state or a town, CASAA is really there for the people, letting them know that, hey, your rights are about to change in this little town in Connecticut. Everybody email your politicians, get down to the state house. But they do handle the consumer side of that.
As well as like consumers, not just these organizations, but as a consumer, you can call your state houses. You can go to the state house anytime that there is a hearing on something that they want to change or an introduction to a bill. The more people at these state houses, the better it is for vaping as a whole. Not that you're going to go there and you want to be very respectful when you're at these hearings. You definitely don't want to be vaping in courtrooms or anything of that nature. And you want to put on that we are regular Joes just like everybody else. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're garbage men, they are vape shop owners. It's everybody. It's not like this industry is geared towards one specific type of person. It's anybody who's a cigarette smoker. So being active in the industry and going to these state houses and just basically telling your story, and it'll all help. Every little bit helps. Whether it's phone calls, going to the state houses, emailing your local congressman, just so that they see it. The more they see it, the more they might be like, hey, maybe we need to take a better look at this and see exactly what's going on here, right before they want to ban everything.
You're going to see good people charged with federal offenses for selling a product that's labeled tobacco but really isn't. People aren't going to stop vaping. The black market is going to explode. So now we have unclaimed tax dollars. We have loss of control of any type of common sense manufacturing practices or anything like that. And then again, we have good people being arrested for selling something they believe in and are passionate about. They're not selling drugs, but the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agency is going to be kicking in their door. And it's going to bring a lot of harm to good people just trying to stay off of cigarettes.
Vaping, this tiny little instrument right here, saved my life. 26 years of smoking cigarettes. Constant upper respiratory infections. Constant asthma. A year ago, I made the switch. My lungs are better. I feel better about myself. I'm starting to lose weight. I'm being more active because I can breathe. And to show you how normal it is, not coughing, not dying. I'm not trying to puke up a lung. I'm taking a drag of a stale cigarette, a drag of poison. This saves lives. You should have it so that way you have an option to choose it. You can do it cold turkey, do it cold turkey. If vaping's where is your niche to save your life of your loved ones, that's what we need to do. We need to band together. Like we were told here today, fight bills, show up at state houses, make phone calls, make emails. It takes 5, 10, maybe an hour out of your time. If it saves the life of your loved one, maybe you should do it. Thanks once again, guys. Princess Vespa, and vape safe, vape happy.